Hi friends, hope you're doing well. So most of the time when I walk into the classroom and I've got my cart with me, you all look right at the cart and all you want to know is, Miss Kiko, is today a cooking day? And the answer today is yes, we are going to be cooking today. I chose one of my favorite ingredients and it's the egg. And I chose this ingredient for a bunch of reasons. The first reason is it doesn't cost much. Compared to meat or fish or other proteins, eggs are really affordable. They also last a long time in our kitchens. So you can keep a carton of eggs in your refrigerator for weeks and they're going to be fine and great to eat. In a lot of parts of the world, people don't even keep them in their refrigerators. Other reasons why eggs are amazing, they're so healthy. They have such important vitamins in them, and you can add them to other foods you're cooking to make a full balanced meal. And finally, they're easy. And some of the skills I'm going to teach you right now, I taught my 3-year-old Hannah Magnolia, and she got it. So I know you can do this. Before I reveal what 3 ways I'm going to teach you today, I want you to brainstorm what you already know. So think for a minute and tell someone in the room with you, what ways do you know that eggs can be made? Maybe you've done it yourself, maybe you've seen it done. Can you think of 3 ways to cook an egg? Go ahead. All right, time's up. So here are my 3 favorite ways to cook an egg. And I'm going to show you each of them today. Number 1, hard boiled. First we'll do that. It takes so little work and then you can keep them in your refrigerator for about a week once they're hard boiled. The second way I'm going to teach you is fried. Some people call this sunny side up. And then the third way, and this is my favorite way, it's my go-to, scrambled. Woo! Redo. Gotta fit it. Scrambled. And I love my scrambled eggs really soft and creamy, but everyone has different tastes and you're the chef, so you'll decide. So before we can cook our 3 eggs, we of course need to crack them. And so the skill that I want to teach you is a foolproof way of cracking eggs to keep as much of the shell out and as much of the egg in. There are 3 steps. So step number 1 is you'll tap the egg in the middle, either on the edge of your bowl or on a hard counter. So 3 taps should do it. Tap, tap, tap. See how the egg is kind of starting to crack open already? That means it's ready for the next step. Step 2, touch your thumbs right at that crack. And then step 3, push in the thumbs and crack open the egg. Now you may need a step 4. If you see that there are little shells inside, no biggie, just get a spoon, fish it out. Your step 4 is getting the shells out because who wants to crunch on those anyway? So we've got 1 egg ready to cook, but the first type of egg I'm going to show you how to cook is number 1, hard boiled, because this one you kind of set it up and then you don't even have to worry about it for 10 minutes. Next question for you. Check out my 3 pans here. I chose these 3 pans because there's something about each of them that's important for how I'm going to cook. Which of these pans do you think I'm going to use for hard boiling my egg? The non-stick frying pan, the saucepan, or the non-stick pan with a cover? For the hard-boiled egg, the answer is the saucepan. And this is what you'll do. You'll take your egg, you'll place it gently in. We're not cracking this one. And you want to pour water, enough water, just straight from the faucet, to cover it by about 1 inch. Okay, so my egg is covered. Make sure it's actually covered by an inch. Mine wasn't yet. And then you'll put it on your stove. You'll turn on the stove. I'm going to actually use this burner over here. You'll turn on the stove to medium heat, medium high, and you'll bring it to a boil. So I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to keep checking to make sure it's not boiling, because once I see those boiling bubbles, that's when I start my 10-minute timer. Okay, come back over. We're moving on to the next one. Egg number 2 is going to be fried sunny side up. This is something that I used to eat a lot when I was a kid. My dad used to make this for me. So, which of the pans do you think I would use for sunny side up? The answer is this one with the lid. And that's because we're going to want to cover it after we start cooking it so that it all cooks together. So we'll get this pan over here and ready. The other ingredients you'll need for a sunny side up egg are a fat. So the fat would probably be either butter or you might use olive oil. And then you'll want your seasoning. Salt and pepper are the basics. That's what I usually use at my house. So you'll get your egg ready. You can crack it into a bowl first if you want to be extra careful, but actually, yeah, you know what? Let's use the one that we already cracked in here, because then we don't have to worry about shells going into the pan, because you don't want to have to be fishing shells out of a hot pan. You turn on the pan to medium heat, and you let it warm up for a moment while you get your butter or oil in there. Today I'll use butter. This is going to be a great afternoon snack for me or someone else in my family. I usually use about a teaspoon of butter. This is about a teaspoon. And you put it in there and you just wait for the butter to melt. While it's melting, you can move the butter all around. And notice that the egg I cracked is still intact. It's still separated, the yolk from the white. If you crack your egg into the bowl and the yolk kind of runs out and isn't a perfect circle, it's not going to work for a sunny side up egg. You should probably decide to make scrambled instead, and I'll show you that as the third type. But as long as your egg looks like this, you're ready to rock. So my butter is melting. I'm spreading it all around the pan. Usually you'll probably want to do more than one egg. For me, 2 eggs is good for breakfast, but everyone's appetite is different, and you might be making them for your whole family, so it just depends. So making sure that my heat isn't too high, just kind of low to medium, and then you want to gently just lay your egg into the frying pan. Does it look like a sun yet? That's why it's called sunny side up. Now, some people like to fry their eggs on both sides, flipping them. That's called over easy, but we're going to keep it simple with sunny side up. This is where our pan comes, or our lid comes in. As soon as we've poured the egg into the pan, we cover it and we just cook it for 2 minutes. So I'm looking at my clock. In 2 minutes, I'm going to know that this egg is done. So while I'm cooking this, I want to ask you one more question. What meals might you add an egg to make them tastier, to make the texture even better, to make them healthier, and just to make it a more balanced meal? Talk to someone in the room about that for a moment. Checking this egg. The water isn't boiling yet on the hard-boiled one. Those little bubbles are forming, but that doesn't count as boiling yet. I can hear my fried sunny side up egg crackling. That's a good sign. Okay, so what did you say? What might you add an egg to make a great meal? For me, some of my favorites are putting it into a soup, putting it on oatmeal. Of course, there's toast. What about you, Camera Nick?
Rice.
With rice, yes. With fried rice or any kind of rice, absolutely. What's so great about this fried egg that you're about to see is that the yolk, the yellow yolk, will be runny. And so you can mix that into your food and it turns everything more delicious. So we are, oh my gosh, it's been 2 minutes. I take off my lid. I check out and make sure that the white is set. So see how the white is, it's not soft anymore. When I jiggle it, it doesn't move. The yolk is still, looks like it's a little bit runny, but it's not uncooked. You can either add salt and pepper while it's frying. I like to do it while it's in the pan for some reason. Or once it's on the plate. And then all you have to do, if your pan doesn't have a side like my side, you can just slip it off. But what I like to do with a spatula that I don't have right now, but look at how it just kind of goes right off. Come on, egg. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Yahoo! All right. So that's a success on the first egg, fried sunny side up. Checking in on the hard-boiled one. It's still not boiled, so we're going to move on to my favorite kind of egg. And I have strong opinions about this one, so don't worry if you like it another way.